standoff in West Bengal has intensified, with Chief Minister Mamata extending her strike till the 8th of February. For those of you who are just tuning into this story, the CBI's attempts to question Kolkata Police Chief Rajiv Kumar over the Sarda chit fund scam was met with a turf war between the state police and the Central Investigation Agency, where CBI officers were sent packing. But the fight between the two police forces has turned into a political battle, with the West Bengal Chief Minister claiming it's an attempt by the BJP to destabilize her government and flout constitutional norms. The matter will now be heard by the Supreme Court, but who gains politically in this fight? To speak on this, I'm joined now by BJP spokesperson Sudesh Verma. Aadil Boparai from the Congress party joins us today. I'm also speaking with Alok Prasanna Kumar, senior resident fellow at Vidhi Center for Legal Policy. I'm also joined by R. Jagannathan, editorial director at Swaraj. Welcome to all of you. But before we start our debate, let's take a look at how Mamata Banerjee has turned the tussle into a political challenge for the BJP.
আপনারা সবাই জানেন যে ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি কোনো এজেন্সির বিরুদ্ধে আমাদের এই সত্যাগ্রহ নয়, আমাদের সত্যাগ্রহ হচ্ছে মোদী সরকারের অ্যাট্রসিটিদের বিরুদ্ধে।
मैंने तो बार बार बोला है कि मोदी और अमित शाह की जोड़ी इस देश के लिए सबसे बड़ा खतरा है। अगर हम इस देश को बचाना चाहते हैं तो हमें इस जोड़ी को किसी भी हालत में इस चुनाव में हराना पड़ेगा।
कमिश्नर लेवल के पदाधिकारी धरना पर बैठे हैं। ये तो देश की राजनीति में आज तक नहीं हुआ है। क्या मतलब है इसका? ये देश कहां जा रहा है कि पुलिस कमिश्नर धरना पर बैठे, वो भी पॉलिटिकल लोगों के साथ।
Well, let's begin the debate. Sudesh Verma, the questions being asked is about the timing of the CBI's action against Kolkata Police Commissioner Rajiv Kumar, and the fact that a lot of opposition leaders have been claiming that the Central Bureau of Investigation has been used as a political tool by the ruling BJP. How do you respond to that?
Is it the BJP that has ordered probe into Sarda scam and Rose Valley scam? Not at all. It is the Supreme Court, under whose supervision the CBI is acting. CBI is sent, as far as our information is concerned, 4 summons to Mr. Rajiv Kumar, current Commissioner of Kolkata Police, who was heading the SIT into the Sarda and Rose Valley scam. And there are allegations against him by the CBI Joint Director on record that he was trying to fiddle with evidence. So in such cases, if he gets summoned, how should he act being a responsible police officer? He belongs to the IPS cadre.
Absolutely.
Will he sit on dharna and say that no, you can't inquire? Will you join your political masters and will you defy the federal system of the country? Will the country run like this because of dictate of certain individuals, or will it run because of institutions? That is the main issue.
No, Mr. Verma, you would have had...
before it happened.
No, let me just come here.
Differences of opinion.
Sure, let me just come here with an important point. All your points would have been perfectly valid. They would have been perfectly valid and above reproach, except for the small little fact that the Supreme Court order that you're talking about took place on the 9th of May 2014. 2014. Why has the CBI now turned up 5 years later, few months, weeks in fact, before a general election? It's the timing that raises these questions.
Can I answer this?
Yes, please.
Can I answer? Okay, let me answer. Let me try to articulate a response for this. You cannot fix us for what the CBI is doing. You should have asked CBI spokesperson about the timing. We have nothing to do with that. Court-monitored probe is going on. CBI will decide its own timing, its own choosing. We have nothing to say on that. If you assign political motive, this means that you are not able to understand the larger issue facing this issue. Why should it be Mamata versus the BJP? It is the CBI that wanted to inquire from a police officer, and the police officer defied that. And Mamata ji is sitting on dharna in favor of him. What does it say? Mamata ji, when 3 MPs of Trinamool Congress were in jail on this scam itself, she did not utter a word. But for a police commissioner, she comes and joins dharna. What does it show? Is there something more to it that meets the eye?
Okay, I want Aadil Boparai to come in. The Congress was, I think, last of the major opposition parties that came in support of Mamata Banerjee. The Congress has gone on record to raise questions about the Sarda chit fund scam. But today you stand with Mamata Banerjee. Don't you think it is unseemly for a sitting police commissioner to join what is essentially a political protest?
Well, Tamanna, first and foremost, I think it's important to bear in mind that this is a fight between India and 2 individuals, which are Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. Let's be very clear. And I want to correct my dear friend, Mr. Verma. The Supreme Court is not monitoring the investigation. There was a categorical request made in para 39 of the judgment which was pronounced in May 2014. That request was rejected. I would urge my friend to read this, number one. Number two, the government in its application, the CBI in its application made the same allegation as propounded by Mr. Verma. The Chief Justice of India remarked that after perusing your application, there is no material to indicate that, and I repeat, this is critical, there is no material to indicate that Mr. Rajiv Kumar in any way has tampered with the evidence. This is point number two. Point number three, you have to understand the larger issue today. Judges come out and say that democracy is in peril. CBI raids CBI. This is an unprecedented situation where Ajit Doval and Mr. Modi engineered a coup of the CBI. ED's Rajeshwar Singh is accusing Mr. Modi's blue-eyed officer Hasmukh Adi of corruption. The government forces 2 members of the NSC to resign. The government withholds job data. The government forces Urjit Patel of the RBI to resign. But coming to this issue, I'm coming to this specific issue.
1 minute, Aadil. I understand the larger point you're trying to make, but even so...
I'm responding to the Kolkata issue.
No, even so, today, if the Central Bureau of Investigation, and it's the only one we have, as flawed as it may be, it is the premier investigative agency. Today, if they say that they need to question a top cop in Kolkata, why should they not be able to?
They have violated the law. I'll point out to you. This is the lies which the BJP is peddling. Let's understand, the CBI investigation has to be in consonance with the CRPC and the Prevention of Corruption Act. Now, section 93 of the CRPC very categorically says that if you have to search the residence of any person, forget the officer, if you have to carry out a search of any person, you need a court warrant. Number two, section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act says that if you have to inquire an officer who is employed with the state government, you need prior sanction. So the government cannot swoop on the police commissioner, come with 40 officers and try to arrest him. What about Himanta Sharma? None other than Amit Shah and Mr. Modi have alleged that Himanta Sharma had siphoned off money in the chit fund scam. What about Mukul Roy? Did they send 40 officers to arrest him? So let's be very clear, this is an attempt by Mr. Modi, Amit Shah and Ajit Doval to intimidate the CBI, to intimidate the political opponents, to intimidate Trinamool Congress. And you've seen, the CBI has been unleashed against all political opponents. This is not going to continue any longer. We will not allow this to happen. The country, there is a complete state of anarchy in the country.
Let me come to the issue. Let me come to the issue. I want to come to you, Alok, Prasanna, Kumar. So there are 2 parts to this. One is, of course, and it is absolutely factually correct, that the Supreme Court has handed over the investigations of these scams to the Central Bureau of Investigations after a slew of PILs right in May 2014. So it is the CBI's job to pursue this. On the other hand, the government of West Bengal withdrew general consent, which states give the CBI to conduct any operations in their territory. West Bengal is one of the states that has withdrawn this consent in November last year. Looking at that, does the CBI, in your view, still have jurisdiction to go ahead with whatever they wanted to do in Rajiv Kumar's case?
On the specific point of jurisdiction, there's a very important judgment of the Supreme Court of India in 2010, State of West Bengal versus Union of India. There, the court clarified that when a court, the High Court or the Supreme Court, hands over the investigation of a case to the CBI, in that case, it doesn't really need the consent of the state government, and it's quite irrelevant if the state government gives consent or not. So, and another case also, the Supreme Court has clarified in the context of Sikkim, this was back in 1994, that any such withdrawal of consent can only be prospective. It can't be retrospective. You can't suddenly stop investigation of ongoing cases. Yes, future cases, you can say that we're not giving you consent for doing so. That's a different issue. So therefore, this withdrawal of consent will have no bearing on the Sharda Chit Fund case, which was handed over by the Supreme Court itself to CBI. So therefore, it doesn't really matter whether the West Bengal government withdrew consent or not.
Okay, that's a very important point. That's a very important point, and I think before I go to R. Jagannathan for the political perspective, I must come to Aadil on that, because Aadil, you're a lawyer as well. Point. One sec, Aadil, because you're a lawyer as well, and this is an important point. Whether general consent was withdrawn or not becomes irrelevant in the Sharda Chit Fund scam context.
Tamanna, I'm not even going into the issue of general consent. All what we're saying is that if you have to question him or make an arrest or carry out a search, you have to follow the procedure laid down under the CRPC and the PC Act. Let's be very clear. You go with 40 police officers, your allegation is that he's destroying evidence and the evidence happens to be at his residence. You are intending to carry out a search without a warrant. What sort of a precedent are we setting? That means Mr. Modi and Amit Shah tomorrow will send the CBI, unleash the CBI at journalists, at lawyers, at judges, at politicians, and without a court warrant. Are we a banana republic? The CBI cannot be a law unto itself. They are bound by the CRPC. And I'm not even going on the question of consent.
Okay.
It cannot be contrary or dehorse the CRPC. Did they secure a warrant? No, they did not. That's a categorical answer.
Okay, wait, no, I want to come to R. Jagannathan. 1 minute. I want to come to R. Jagannathan for his response on the scene that we're seeing unfolding right now. And beyond the point, Jaggi, unfortunately, the truth is that the semantics and the legalities will get lost in the larger political noise. We are seeing a situation where there are opposition leaders across the ranks flocking to Kolkata. Some of them have arrived right now, sitting with Mamata Banerjee on Dharna. She's going to be there all week. Everyone's united. All of a sudden, this fragmented opposition has come together. Do you think it's sort of a self-goal by the BJP at this point?
Well, I'm not sure, because I think in Calcutta, in West Bengal, let's not forget, it is the BJP that is the primary party occupying the entire opposition space. So basically, if Mamata is getting the whole country across there, actually it suits the BJP, because it actually plays to the BJP's game, saying that, look, we are not even existing, we barely have a seat or two there, 1 seat in the assembly or 2 seats in the assembly and 1 or 2 in the parliament. And here it is, you're rousing the entire country to oppose us. You're not allowing us to hold our rallies. You don't want Yogi Adityanath to land in the state. I mean, you're running scared of a party that almost doesn't exist. You are actually building up the BJP where it may not exist. So you are actually given the BJP the entire opposition space in West Bengal. So this will backfire on her. What you have done is you've undercut the Congress and the CPM as viable opposition forces in West Bengal. So that's the political side. On the law side, I would make 2 simple points. I'm no fan of the CBI running riot here and there without a bio leave from the state government. Equally, I think we need to depoliticize state police. Okay, the state police, if it is sitting on Dharna, essentially it is saying that, look, we are beholden to these political masters and we are going to act according to what our politicians tell us. Just like we are alleging that the CBI is being dictated to by the BJP at the center. So we have 2 people both doing the wrong things. Until we free both the police forces, the CBI and the state police forces from political control, you're going to see these kind of things. But the larger issue is, of course, politics. And in the politics, I think Mamata has made a huge error. I don't think it's going to benefit her.
You know, Alok, do you agree with that view? Do you think the BJP has a strong anti-corruption plank right now, or is this a sense of, you know, an authoritarian central government pushing its writ down the throat of states going to catch people's imagination?
I don't know the politics of West Bengal. I can certainly say that I am not as well versed in how political currents in West Bengal flow. But let's just say the last 5 years have not exactly been a time of great cooperative federalism. There has been much pushing and pulling when it comes between state governments and the center. The center has given the states a lot of reasons to be unhappy. And I suppose the use of CBI could possibly be one. I mean, not to say that this is some uniquely exceptional government. Past governments have also routinely and flagrantly violated the law when it comes to CBI to serve their particular ends. But it would be true to say that states across the country feel that the center has been shortchanging them. I can speak for instance, here in Karnataka, we had the chief minister pointing out that the central government is being unfair when it comes to say the drought. We also had a previous Congress government which felt that the current BJP-led central government is distinguishing between BJP-led and Congress-led governments. That's always been made, but I do think that in the last 5 years we have seen a significant erosion of comity between the center and the states in political and also in constitutional matters.
You know, Sudesh Verma, I know you wanted to counter a previous point made by the speakers, but I just want to come to you with another question. Why this narrative is gaining traction is also because of the calls for president's rule, some of them made by prominent BJP leaders. And it almost seems like it was a script which is playing out, that the CBI comes in, Mamata Banerjee responds, goes to, you know, dharna politics, which she is known for, and then there is a call for president's rule. Is that something you think the BJP is considering at this point?
You see, the narrative that the opposition is trying to build is very, very dangerous for the country. Tomorrow, RJD people are going to sit in dharna along with Mamata Banerjee. All these opposition party will join hands. And one thing that unites them is their acts of omissions and commissions when they have been in power. The Congress will give the logic which Aadil is giving, because some 2 days, 3 days back, Mr. Robert Vadra went to the court, say he was not responding to ED summons. Then court told him that why you have come to us, go and listen to the summon. So this simple practice of law, they will not accept the agencies because they think it is an insult to them. It's an insult to them. Why should you not cooperate with law? And here a police officer who should be knowing that the IPS rule enables him that he is supposed to follow. He cannot say no. And he has joined the political establishment, and these people, because they have an axe to grind against the BJP, they have been taking name of Amit Shah and Modi ji. Why should the Modi ji and Amit Shah ji come here? Tell me, is the CBI versus the police commissioner? The CBI knows how to do. If the CBI is going on the wrong track, what is the recourse left to them? They can always go to the court. No, they can always go to the court. They cannot take law into their hand and arrest the CBI people. There is something called law of the land. Is it gundagardi?
Okay, one minute.
Are they gundas that they will do what they want?
Okay, let Aadil respond to that. Yes, Aadil.
Tamanna, there is a pattern to this. In October 2018, Prashant Bhushan and Yashwant Sinha file a complaint with the CBI director relating to the Rafale case. There is a midnight coup at the CBI office, and the CBI director is arbitrarily removed. Ultimately, is reinstated, and the Supreme Court says that the procedure adopted by the government was illegal. Now, Mr. Narendra Modi, a few days back, from the election pulpit, takes Rajiv Kumar's name, and what follows yesterday? The CBI raids his residence with 40 officers without a warrant. So please be very clear, the BJP sees the writing on the wall. They're losing traction. Now the only allies left with the BJP are the CBI and the ED. But I just want to point out something, and this is extremely dangerous for our country.
It is in court.
I didn't interrupt you. Mr. Verma, I didn't interrupt you.
Sudesh Verma, one sec. No need to talk over each other.
Mr. Verma, I didn't interrupt you.
No need to talk over each other. You will get your chance.
I just need 20 seconds. I just need 20 seconds. We are setting an extremely dangerous Mr. Verma, you'll have your time. I just need 20 seconds. We are setting an extremely dangerous precedent, Tamanna. Tomorrow you may have a situation where the CBI is unleashed, where they enter journalists' residence, where they enter lawyers' residence, politicians' residence, and this is completely throwing the CRPC, the law, the statutes outside the window. Are we a banana republic? I again reiterate this point.
No,
the CBI cannot act contrary to the statute.
Okay,
you need a warrant from the court.
Don't you trust the court?
Sudesh Verma will respond to it, and Mr. Verma, this matter will be heard in the Supreme Court tomorrow. But Aadil, I just want to point to one concern. There are valid and real concerns about whether the CBI's actions tend to be politically motivated. It's been brought up in Supreme Court before. It's happened in past regimes, including in Congress-led governments. We've seen the mess the CBI has been in the past. But then for every political leader and every powerful person like the Kolkata Police Commissioner to demand immunity, saying that there are motivated attacks against them, will then defang the CBI even further. Don't you see the problem there, Aadil?
Tamanna, this is a letter of Mr. Rajiv Kumar. It's in public domain. A letter written by him, a DO letter written by him on the 27th of October 2017 to the then CBI director. He says, I am fully willing to cooperate with you. Please send somebody to my office. This is a letter. So nobody is running away. The Congress party's position is very clear. We want a fair probe in these cases. But you cannot run amok. You cannot throw the rule book out of the window. You can't have the CBI and the ED behaving like a private militia. You can't have Delhi police raiding the office of the CBI director in the CGO complex. What precedent are we setting?
Okay.
Tomorrow officers will start raiding Mr. Verma's house. Does he want that? Without a warrant?
No, okay.
Let's not set dangerous precedents.
No, one sec. Mr. Verma,
we are not a country which is governed by military rule.
The specific point of the warrant has not been answered, and you did not answer my specific question about demands for President's rule.
No, this is
demands
all wrong.
for President's rule. Why are demands for President's rule being made?
This is all wrong again. This is the false narrative again which the Congress is trying to bring. If the CBI has taken a step, they must have taken legal step. If they have taken a legal step, what recourse you have? You cannot act like a party of gundas. You can always go to the court against CBI officers if they do some mistakes. This is not the way.
Okay.
And there is something called federalism.
Yeah, why are demands for President's rule being made?
You must understand this is spirit.
Mr. Verma, why are demands for President's rule being made?
You don't believe in the institution of the court. You don't believe in the institution of the court. I told you that BJP has nothing to do in this.
No, why are BJP MPs making demands for President's rule? Mr. Verma, why are BJP MPs making demands for President's rule?
Whether the dictate of Mamata Banerjee will prevail.
Can you not hear me, sir? Or are you choosing not to hear my question, Mr. Sudesh Verma?
It has never happened before in this country.
One second. Sir, in a conversation, we'll have to listen to each other and answer each other's questions because it'll just be a one-way street. I'm asking you now for the 5th time. Why are BJP MPs making demands for President's rule? If you're saying the BJP has nothing to do with this, the CBI is going to court. They're already going to court and demanding a contempt plea against the Kolkata Police Commissioner. You have nothing to do with it. Fine. Then why are your MPs demanding President's rule?
You see, when such a situation comes where law does not prevail and the Chief Minister also violates the law, sits on dharna, have you ever heard this? Then is it not violation of the law and order situation? Has it not collapsed? The police has ganged up with political masters. Has it ever happened?
So are you going to move?
MP belonging to opposition,
is the BJP-led government at the centre going to move for President's rule?
RBI, NSC, NSSO.
No, that is besides the point.
How is it besides the point?
President's rule is not imposed because of demand of certain people. President's rule is not imposed because of demands of certain people. It is imposed after report of the governor, where the governor says that the state cannot run according to the Constitution of India.
You know,
that situation has not come. It is not politics.
Okay, it's a, you know what, here I want Jaggi to come in here, where the BJP claims it's not politics when it comes to the CBI and its actions, and you made that point earlier, and you know, the West Bengal government says it's, you know, standing to defend an honest police officer, but everyone knows it's about politics. What is the real harm being done in a situation like this?
See, the point is politicians are fighting for their space. And in that, I think both sides are using every trick in the book and outside the book. Many quasi-legal, quasi-illegal actions are being taken, and which, if you actually were to see, actually both, I think the CBI is also exceeding its brief. It could have sought permission and then gone and questioned Rajiv Kumar. Similarly, the Calcutta police had no business going around trying to, intimidate the CBI and taking them out and all that. That's not right. I mean, so obviously there is a breakdown in law and order. As far as this president's rule is concerned, I think we need to ignore it, because all opposition parties, when they think the state is being a little too strong measured, strong arming something, they tend to call for president's rule. I remember 6 months ago, Akhilesh Yadav calls for president rule in Uttar Pradesh because of some beating up incident or some such thing, lynching or some such thing. So I think opposition parties can demand anything, so that does not matter. It's up to a larger
Yes,
question.
but no, I mean, Jaggi, to be honest, you have, for example, Rakesh Sinha, BJP MP, making that demand. You have several BJP leaders making that demand. The BJP is ruling in the center. The governors that have been installed in a lot of states after the BJP came to power have been nominated by the BJP in the center, the BJP-ruled government, which I know is precedent and it happens all the time. But that is a fact. So when top BJP leaders stand up and ask for president's rule just months before an election, I think it's a bit charitable to say let's ignore them.
No, what I believe is that, see, the political parties will make those political demands, but legally it's impossible to impose president's rule when there is a popularly elected government in a state. It can happen in a state like Jammu and Kashmir where something fell apart. Don't forget that any president's rule action has to be first passed by both the houses of parliament, and no president's rule will ever pass in the Rajya Sabha. Anything. Even when the Congress was in power, when such a thing was happened, I mean, the opposition parties actually backed the BJP when I think at some point during Vajpayee's time, I think, the governor acted and imposed president's rule. I think I don't remember the exact year, but that's the thing. I think we are federal enough where all opposition parties in Rajya Sabha will oppose president's rule. And so I don't think it will pass. You can at least only threaten it for a while.
Just to tell you that what you're watching on your screen are live pictures from Kolkata, where DMK's Kanimori has also reached the site of the sit-in protest led by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Tejasvi Yadav is there. Earlier, Arvind Kejriwal was there as well. So huge show of opposition unity. It's not too clear whether the Congress will pitch into the extent of really going there and being part of this whole protest. I just want to, get a viewpoint from Alok, Prasanna, Kumar on what we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow, this will be heard in the Supreme Court. Where do you see the legal fight going, Alok?
I'm not sure what's going to quite happen because, again, what Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi said, look, you have placed nothing before us which shows that there is material to suggest that he is destroying evidence. And Mr. Rajiv Kumar, the government, the central CBI has promised to provide that material. I don't know what it's going to be, and I don't think it's going to be determinative of anything for the moment, simply because everything is going to be at a very preliminary stage. It's going to be, it's still at the stage of we think and he probably did or something like that. I don't see what will happen. I can't exactly predict what will happen tomorrow because it's a very unusual proceeding. At more, I mean, as far as I can see, the Supreme Court will not try to add fuel to this fire by passing any order saying one person is clearly in the right or the other person is clearly in the wrong. If at all, they may want to decide this case in the fitness of things. Right? It has to be some extraordinary material which has suddenly appeared overnight that couldn't be placed yesterday before the court. I'm sure we'll hear a lot of very fiery arguments in court about attacks on federalism, democracy, law and order. That's all very good. But legally speaking, I'm sure the court will say this is all very fine, but please, let's follow procedure for a while and put whatever you have on material. I'm sure they'll ask the CBI to produce material to show that he was in fact destroying evidence. Was there a proper procedure followed? And if we know anything about Chief Justice Gogoi, he's fairly a stickler for procedure. except when it comes to sealed covers. But let's see what the court has to say tomorrow.
Yeah, so the action shifts to the battleground of the Supreme Court once again. Not the first time it's happened in these last 5 years where centre and state have landed up in court against each other. Thank you to all of you for joining us on the debate today. Another big, angle to watch out from the political fallout is how Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, and a potential contender for the top spot if there's a hung parliament after the next elections, seems to be adept at galvanizing opposition parties around her. This is definitely one space to watch out for.